welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is episode 126. It's December 10th, 2014, and it's Wednesday. So, if you remember last week, I mentioned that I was going to start recording and uploading a new episode every Wednesday as opposed to Friday. So, I'm on schedule. So, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy. This is a knitting, spinning, and hand dyeing podcast, all fiber related. So, that said, let's get on to updates. I've been busy. I've been very, very busy, which is good. So, it's a good busy. I've been dyeing a lot of holiday colors, holiday colorways. Outlander's still going strong. It's a popular colorway. And yeah, so I don't know if you listen to the Knit More Girls podcast. If you haven't, you should. I'm blanking on which day they upload their podcast, but anyway, check them out. I think they're on their 300th episode plus, so they've been around a while. So definitely check them out if you haven't yet. But anyway, they're currently doing 25 days of enabling, in which they, like every other day, I believe they just blast things on Facebook, on Instagram, where they feature different fiber artists, including yours truly, and they have different deals where you go to their Etsy shops. I think it's me, Jinx Yarns, and Gourmet Stash, a couple of others which I can't name off the top of my head, but if you go to their Etsy shops, you can get and enter the code 25 days of enabling. You can get a percentage off or whatever deal that they have going on. But definitely check out the Instagram, at least the Instagram, hashtag 25 days of enabling, where you'll be able to see all the participating fiber artists and, treat yourself to some beautiful hand-dyed fiber. So yeah, I am actually currently offering 5% off of anything in my Etsy shop if you enter the code 25 days of enabling at checkout. So yeah, definitely jump on that if you like. But yes, I will talk about more shop update stuff at the end of the episode for those of you not interested. But yeah, other than that, the Ornamentalong Cal. It's the Ornamentalong knit along. So that is going strong as well. I'm having so much fun seeing what you guys post in the Ravelry thread. There's a chatter thread and then there's an official thread. So December 19th, I will close the non-chatter thread, the official thread where you enter all your entries, and I will announce giveaway winners the following the next week that I podcast. So I believe that is the week of Christmas. So if I don't record that week, I will announce the winners the following week. But yeah, just to be fair, I will close the thread December 19th. So yes, and I just want to reiterate, one post per person, just to make it fair. When I do a random number generator, just to keep things fair, that's all. And anybody that, does a repeat post or just posts a comment or something that is not an actual entry or posts a duplicate entry, not that I don't like you or I'm angry at you, I'm just going to delete the duplicate post or the post where you're just commenting, again, to keep things fair. I did create a chatter thread for anybody who wants to discuss or chat your heart out about the Ornamentalong. So that said, I'm super excited about it. I'll show you some of the stuff that I knit along, that I knit up for the Ornamentalong. But yeah, again, I really, really enjoy seeing what you guys put in there. Keep it up, and I would love to keep it going, like even after the holidays, because they're great little gifts to give away. Just, not even just for the holidays, for a birthday, or just a little thank you, or just, something nice, cute little quick knit that makes a great gift. So, or cat toy. I don't know where this kitty went. Oh, she's in her egg. I got this like awesome egg off of what was it? I can't remember the site now, but I found it was an awesome deal. But it's like this purple egg with a hole in it and a little yellow cushion, and she loves sitting and sleeping in this thing. But before she was sitting on the chair over there, so. And then she woke up. So anyway, I digress. So yeah. Also, I want to talk about giveaways for the Ornamentalong. I feel like I should, yeah, I'll talk about it now. So again, we have stitch markers from One Geek to Craft Them All, which I will post a photo of them here. I posted a photo of them last week, but they're very cute. They're very holiday inspired. And then I received a package from Sunshine. Wait, I want to get this right. Sunshine Yarn Fun. Kath, I believe it's. I have to write down my facts, but I want to get everyone's name right. It's Catherine Santana of Sunshine Yarn Fun sent me the most adorable giveaway prize for you guys. And I apologize for the rustling, but she sent me this beautiful project bag. It's almost like it's patchwork, but it kind of reminds me of colorful like honeycombs or something. Beautiful it's very beautiful and handmade. And inside, she has some hand-dyed mini skeins for you guys. For the lucky winner, I should say. How awesome are these? They're so pretty. And it's all, let me see, mini skeins, tweed sock, 85% superwash merino, and 15% NEP. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's tweed. Oh my goodness. Okay. And they're 30 yards each, but I will post the actual facts in the show notes, so you can get the actual details from here. But they're beautiful and they're so soft. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much, Catherine. But definitely check out her Etsy shop. She's Sunshine Yarn Fun on Etsy. Yeah. So thank you. And I cannot wait to give this away to one of you guys. So keep those ornaments coming. Awesome. Okay, and I want to tie this up and keep it in here. I'm actually going to put it in a little zippy bag to keep it safe from the elements. So yeah. And here's a really pretty card she sent me. So thank you, Catherine. Okay, what else? I think that's it for updates. So let's get on to finished objects, FOs, off the needles. I never really actually named this segment. I don't know. I don't think it needs one. It just goes without saying. But if I come up with something clever, I'll just start calling it that. Okay, so off the needles, obviously, as I was talking about, are some more birds of happiness. I can never get that right. Birds of happiness. That's the plural, right? Not happiness aside. I'm silly. So yeah, I knit up some more hand spun birds of happiness. This again is spun right round. It came in that the bag of random fiber bumps I got from Gauge Intention a couple weeks ago. So this is one of the bats that I spun up, and it produced 2 birds so far, and I still have some left over, but this is one that just knit up purple. It has a slightly magenta head because you can tell like it started transitioning towards the end of the tail, and then you cast off, and then you pick up the stitches to knit the head. So this is where the tail left off, and it's a little it's slightly pink, but I love the way that works out. And here's the one that I started knitting after. So it turns slightly more magenta, and then orange to gray, and then a lavender head. So yay! And I think every ornament that I knit from now on are going to be gifts, because that tree is ornamental-tastic right now, so I don't think it can hold anymore. So, why not just give all the knitted fun away? That's all. So, let me see. Here's the leftover. I may be able to get one more out of this. I don't know. I'll have to see. But it has some really pretty color transitions in here. I wish I could show that to you guys. But yeah, this one was tightly, this was like a very high twist hand spun, if you will. Lots of sheen, really pretty. I don't even know what fiber it is. It was just it was a grab bag of gorgeous fiber, and I still have some left over that I have to plow through. So that's what's off the needles at the moment. But yeah, I actually, I'll talk about it later, but what else? Okay, so let's get on to what's still on the needles. My Holly Jolly socks are still underway. I actually cast off, I'm done with the first sock, and here I am with the second sock. So I think I have like maybe an inch more to go before I hit the heel. And this again is my favorite socks pattern, which is a free download. I wrote it up and everything. I don't think it's anything. I don't think the pattern is groundbreaking or anything to write home about, other than, you know, it's been done before. But this is my go-to pattern, and I just wrote out my method of knitting socks. So, but yeah, it's a basic plain vanilla sock pattern that I just go to. So, yay! That's where I am with that. And I am itching like crazy to cast on another sock, but I know I have that to finish, and I know I have another rainbow sock, self-striping rainbow sock to finish from White Birch Fiber Arts. So I'm trying really hard not to cast on another pair. I don't know how long I will last, but we'll see. The other thing that's on the needles is a test knit that I'm doing for Ellie of the FO and Dye podcast, and she also hand dyes fiber and designs patterns. So this, I took a little hiatus from it, only because there's a lot going on for a couple weeks, but I finally sat down and put a mega dent in it. And this is her endurance shawl that I'm test knitting for her, and it's actually going to, I don't know if you remember me talking about it a long time ago, but it was 400 stitches to cast on, about, give or take. So that in itself was a challenge for me, because I've never cast on that amount of stitches at once before. So that was a true test of my knitting threshold, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But anyway, I am about like an inch and a half into it, and it's actually going to be obviously a long, thin shawl with, has like a ruffled, it has like one cable twist in it, which, believe me, it took a long time to do all these little cables, but it wasn't difficult at all. It was just like cable after cable after cable after cable after cable, and then I was just like, wow, never-ending row of cables. But that was it. So I was like, oh, okay. So there's that, and then it gets into this nice textured pattern with short rows. So it's going to be like a long, kind of like shaped thin crescent shawl, if you will. So. But so far, I'm really enjoying knitting it. It's excellent autopilot knitting. I can just sit here and binge watch a show or podcast, as I've been doing lately, and realize, oh, I've knit 6 rows. And I'm actually, I don't know if you can see these. These are some stitch markers that Catherine from Sunshine Fun Yarns made for me. So they're beautiful, and I love them. Yay! Thank you again, Catherine. These are awesome. And you can never have too many stitch markers, let me tell you. I was watching, this morning I was actually packaging, I don't know how many packages, but I had the Dancing Geek podcast on. And Ellie actually told me about the Dancing Geek podcast, and he's awesome. But I must warn you, if you check out his podcast, it's epic. It goes on for this one I believe was like 2.5 hours, so it was nice to have him going on in the background while I was skeiner and wrapping packages, and he's hilarious. So it's kind of like just having that friend in your living room type thing, just going on, and he's, it's funny. So definitely, if you have some time on your hands, definitely give him a try. But yeah, he also test knitted this. So, and he said you can never have too many stitch markers. So there you go. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot. I'll talk about other podcasts in a minute, but but while I have it on the brain, what I've been watching, Fiber Nymphs, 90% Knitting is awesome. She's hilarious. Who else have I been watching? The Fat Squirrel Speaks. She's awesome as well. She has both of those guys have Etsy shops with great stuff, that handmade things. Who else? I've just been like plowing through so many, like catching up with all the ones that I haven't been able to watch and ones that I was recommended to. And I know I'm forgetting a lot, but that's pretty much what I've been watching. Stockinette Zombies, The Knit Girls, The Dyer's Notebook, as I always mention. Who else? Molly's A Homespun House. The Knitmore Girls, obviously. TV Knitting, who I don't know. I have to check to see if she has a new episode out. It's been a while, but yeah, she does like I love it when she does Spotted. She has a segment called Spotted where she she loves watching TV, so she always picks out like the knitwear and shows and talks about them. But that's not the whole episode. She talks about knitting and other things as well. So yeah, that's pretty much. I know I'm forgetting. I'll just put a list of podcasts I've been watching in the show notes. I know last week I was kind of lame on the show notes. I have to go back and actually, last week was crazy. It was just a blur. Yeah, so this week I will be on top of it. I promise. But yeah, where was I? Okay, yes, I was talking about Ellie's test knit. So I think I'm going to give this to my mom. If I'm done with it, I may give this to my mom for Christmas. And the yarn, I don't know if you can tell, is my yarn, Voolenvine yarns, on the blitzed base fingering, which is superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. So let me see if I can get that too. You can see a little bit of sparkle. I'm all about the sparkles, guys. So yeah, that's where I am on that. Whew, okay. I need some soda. Okay, so what else is on the needles? Oh, and I'm sitting on it actually. I've been keeping it on the back of my chair. Yes, I have dusted off Dennis's Ranger cardigan. I'm done with the sleeve. I am so done with the first sleeve that I knit an extra inch. And I had him try it on this morning. Excuse me. And my nose is itchy. It's always itchy because there's fiber, fluff flying around. So I apologize. But yeah, so I had him try it on this morning. It's a little snug in the forearm, but I know once I block it, it's going to loosen up. Plus, I looked at the photo on the pattern, and it does look a little snug on the forearm, but it's meant to kind of like the sleeve is kind of meant to be pushed up a little bit, so it kind of scrunches here, and you just look so dapper and suave, whatever you want to call it. Grizzly, manly, woodsy. Yeah. You're supposed to have that kind of look when you wear this cardigan, apparently. That was a weird analogy string right there. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode. I don't know. But yeah, so now I've got to knit a whole another one of these. I'm hoping it'll go a lot quicker. I know if I dedicate myself, and it's worsted. There's no excuse for it not to be done today or anything, or yesterday. I don't know. But yeah, that is... I want to have it done by Christmas. I really want to give it to him for Christmas. Because right now I only have like one other thing that I have for Christmas, and I want that to be the other big thing that I give him for Christmas. So it was supposed to be done by summer, but it just never happened. Okay. Next up, I am all done talking about works in progress, yada yada. Let's talk about spinning, because I've got spinning. Should I talk about stash enhancement? I feel like I should talk about stash enhancements before, because that will lead into my spinning. Okay, so let's talk stash enhancements. Okay, so this past weekend, I had to stop by Gauge Intention again. I wasn't vending there or anything like that, but I wanted to stop by, say hi to everybody, the whole gang there. So, and plus I wanted to give Michelle or the store, kind of like a little store warming gift or whatever. So obviously I knit her a bird of happiness. So I brought that to the shop, and I wanted to get a chance to catch Jill Draper, because that was the weekend she was there. But me and Dennis were house hunting on Saturday, so I didn't make it. So I'm like, all right, I'll go on Sunday. But she was only, apparently I don't read the fine details on things sometimes. So I totally missed the fact that she was only going to be there on Saturday. And I showed up Sunday, around like 4 o'clock or something. And yeah, but she left all her yarn booty there. So the whole Jill Draper repertoire was just sprawled out across the shop, and it was there, and it was beautiful. And I had to buy some. It's what you do, and, Jill Draper, she's based in Hudson Valley, Kingston, which is very close to, obviously, Rhinebeck, and where Dennis is from. And so, gotta support my New York gals. So I went there, and this immediately caught my eye. I just went and made a beeline for it. So this is Jill Draper Makes Stuff. In her, I believe it's a new base, Esopus. It's her sock yarn. Drinking in the Saddle. Oh yeah, this, you can tell it has my name all over it. I don't know, Kate from Gourmet Stash. What do you think? Wink, wink, nod, nod. But anyway, yeah. So this totally mauve, pinks, grays. Yeah, I don't know if I even want this to be a pair of socks because it's so squishy, and there's 500 yards in here, 4 ounces, and hand dyed with love, 100% American grown and spun superwash merino wool. So yeah, it's really squishy. And I don't know if you know the whole thing about Jill Draper, but she's totally green about the way she, produces and dyes her yarn. She actually goes to the farm, plays with the sheep, talks to the farmers, grabs the wool, goes to the mill, and has them spin it up the way she wants it to be spun up, and then goes back to her apartment, or house, I should say, and dies away. So in a 100-mile radius, which I think is freaking awesome. So, I am totally for that. I wish I had a farm. I have a roof deck. I can keep alpacas and sheep up there. Maybe like one sheep, one llama. My friend just introduced me to a friend of his who owns an alpaca farm. So I went to their website and they have alpaca for sale. And I was like, I was getting evil thoughts about purchasing an alpaca. So a girl can dream. But yeah, so this is my latest stash enhancements, and I'm trying to, even out my yarn to fiber stash quotient, because right now my fiber is outweighing my actual yarn supply. So I'm trying to just kind of like take a break on fiber and just kind of take a look at and see about what yarns are out there. And I may have actually done some Etsy damage at Jill Draper, because I did fondle some of the other yarns there and they were so squishy and stuff like that, but this was really calling my name and I was like, oh, I'll be good. But then I just couldn't get out of my brain. So onto the Etsy I went and treated myself. It's Christmas, right? Yeah. So that's one. And then the other stash enhancement that I did for Black Friday, I had to go visit my girl, Kate, Gourmet Stash. Oh, and I forgot the tag. It's out there. Is it? Yeah, it is. But this was sitting in my cart for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I find, not weeks and weeks, but, for a while. And finally Black Friday rolled around. I'm like, what? Perfect excuse. So yeah, these are luxury tribbles in her Hedwig colorway. I believe they're limited edition, and it seems so simple, but yeah, Hedwig, I had these lying on, not lying, but the package was on the coffee table and Dennis came home, and this is like a day or two after I was trying to convince him to get us tickets to go see Hedwig and the Angry Inch on Broadway. Because he always gets made fun of that he looks exactly like Dexter or Michael C. Hall. So he's not a huge fan of musicals to begin with. So, he's, I may be, a couple more nudges and, I might be able to convince him to go see Hedwig and the Angry Inch with Michael C. Hall. But yeah, so he saw them lying on the table and he's like, Hedwig, this does not look anything. I'm like, no, not that Hedwig, silly. This is Hedwig from Harry Potter, the owl, which Oh my gosh, it is so soft and downy like an owl. And I believe this is yak, silk, um, and stellina. I have to check the tag, but I think that's it. But the silk, oh my goodness, so soft. And here's another one where there's more like darker brown silk in there, and it sparkles. And it's so pretty. So that leads me into spinning because I've been plying on the fly again, which is my new favorite method of drop spindling. On my errands, awesomely awesome errands make stuff drop spindle, and I can see that it is plying up beautifully, and this spins wonderfully. I love it. It actually produces a very fine lace weight yarn. And I was a little concerned that it would produce only, like worsted or DK, but no. It's doing what I want it to do, so it's awesome. And it's sparkly. I don't know if I can get the sparkles in there, but it just makes me so happy. Let me see. There we go. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to talk about, this is probably, when I got it, I thought this was a mistake, but no, this is actually a very important part of the drop spindle. I don't know if you can see here, but there's like a little notch right there. I thought, oh, maybe the part of the colored crayon fell out of there, but duh, with any normal top roll drop spindle, there's got to be a notch there for your yarn to kind of fall and, rest in, so it stays put when you spin it. So, yeah. Aaron is a genius. He knows his spindles, which is awesome. So, and this kind of spins around, but you can fix it and stuff like that. So, to your liking. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Other spinning. Yeah, I have my Nunoko fiber on the wheel, but I haven't really worked on it as much. So funny, like my parents came over last week and for dinner, but they were a little early, so they kind of caught me like at the end of when I was getting all my work stuff done, and then we were gonna go out to dinner maybe like 3 hours later, but they showed up early, and we were watching TV, and I pulled out my wheel just to kind of do some spinning while we were watching TV and talking stuff. Dennis was still at work, so we couldn't really go out to dinner or anything, so we just killed some time watching TV, like you do. So then my mom got curious about my fiber, so I started showing her, like the stuff that I got from Rhinebeck, and then I showed her the loop bat. She tried to steal my loop bat. The peach one with, the one that I fell in love with, that was totally out of my comfort zone. She's like, oh, can you spin? I'm like, no, this is mine. Like, I was just very matter of fact about it. I'm like, normally I have to think about it, like I don't want to be mean or anything, but I'm just like, no, you can't have it. But she's like, I love it. I'm like, no, it's mine. So, yeah, so that's how that went down. But yeah, it just cracks me up. But that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions, actually. I'm not big on New Year's resolutions or keeping them for that matter, but I think in the new year, I'm just going to get better at saying no to things, because I have a tendency to be too nice, and it kind of gets me in a pickle sometimes. So I want to say yes to all the things and, make everybody happy sometimes, but I can't do it. Because then I just look like a moron when I can't actually do it. So if something doesn't feel right, I'll just say, I have to think about that. Let me get back to you. Or just say, no, I don't have the time. I'm sorry. So that's going to be my new goal for the new year. Say no more. And it's okay to say no more. I think it's like programmed in me just to say yes to everything, which is not always good. So, I digress again. Okay, so that's spinning, stash enhancements, I did all that stuff, show notes. Okay, no, I want to talk about, as I mentioned last week, someone asked, is it possible to drop spindle a whole shawl's worth of yarn on a drop spindle? Yes, it totally is. And I mentioned, like, why don't we have a spin along, spinning, what did I call it? I called it I'm calling it a D-spackle, a drop spin along knit along, but it has to be a shawl's worth of fiber. So we're gonna spin a whole, yeah, again, you have to use a drop spindle, and you have to spin a shawl's quantity of yarn. So for that, it probably has to be, I'm guessing, at least like 350 plus. I want to say like a safety is like 400 yards of hand spun. So that means if you want to, you can spin a single, or if you want to do a 2-ply, you have to spin at least 800 yards of singles. So just FYI, if you're going to do a 2-ply, that's 800 yards of singles to 2-ply them. If you're going to Navajo ply them, I forget the whole math of it, but whatever, if you Navajo ply or chain ply, which creates like a mock 3-ply, it reduces your yardage or whatever. Like let's say you have 400 yards of singles. I think I have to do the math, but again, show notes, that's what they're for. So yeah, and there's also a link to Sweet Georgia Yarns. In one of their blog posts, they talk about how many singles do you need how much fiber do you need to actually spin X amount of yardage. So I will link to that as well in the show notes, because it's an excellent article, definitely worth a read. But yes, I want to kick off the the D-spackle, a name which I'm sort of kind of purloining from the Knit More Girls because they have their annual spackle, knit along, spin along, but this is a D-spackle, drop, spin along, knit along. Many of you have expressed interest in that, so why not? Let's do it. And I want to kick it off January 1st, 2015. You don't have to like start spinning that day, but just kind of like a loose start date, just that's when I'm probably going to start, like maybe a couple days after that, I don't know. So in the meantime, pick your project, pick your fiber, make sure it's a color that you want to look at for a long time, because I've never spun a shawl. Well, no, I have on my wheel, but I've never drop spindled a shawl's worth of fiber on a drop spindle. So this will be new territory, and I want to make sure that it's a colorway that I'm going to be happy, that's going to keep me excited. So I'm thinking something super colorful and super bright, and something that I'm not going to get bored with. So yeah, that's that. And I don't know if I'm going to have like a deadline, or I don't know. I have to think it over, but that's going to be the start date. So yeah, that's it. Try not to say too many ums, but some days the ums just come and take over. So I embrace them. I'm looking at show notes. I am done talking about spinning because you asked. Tips for podcasting. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk about a couple episodes back, but it was just so lengthy and long, and a lot of you have been asking me, like, how do I get started? Where do I begin? That is a whole nother show in itself. I could go on and on, but I just want to cover the basics here, so humor me or bear with me. I know it's not really knitting related, but if you want to start a podcast, you can totally do it. Just a few basics to get you started, just to give you a brief overview. Whether you want to it depends. Like, do you want to do video? Do you want to do audio? The main thing is have excellent audio. It doesn't have to be brilliant. You don't have to invest in a super expensive, fancy microphone. You just need a decent condenser microphone. You can get them at $20. You can get them at $30. This one that I use, I bought it for like $30 on Amazon. It's definitely affordable. But yes, audio is definitely key. Because people want to hear what you're talking about, right? Make sure it's quiet. It definitely pays to have a quiet environment. Otherwise, you have like drilling, or you have someone talking in the other room, too many distractions, it's hard to hear you. So you want it to be very quiet. The other thing is, if you're doing a video podcast, you probably want to invest in you don't have to go crazy. I have a high definition Logitech webcam. it was a little bit of an investment. When I purchased it, it was like $70 or whatever, US dollars. Now, who knows, it's probably outdated, so you can probably get it cheaper now. I made it an investment, so, but you don't have to do that. I'm sure the camera built into your computer does the job just fine. Especially if you're just starting out with a podcast, just test it out, see how you feel in front of the camera before you invest in something more expensive. But yeah, you can use a fancy DSLR camera, your Canon, Nikon, whatever you have at hand. It can be a handheld camera. You can use your iPad to record a podcast, as I do, and it's the quality of my iPad, my mini, my iPad mini comes out awesome. I have no complaints about that. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics as far as getting started. And then I guess editing. Editing is definitely key. So if you have any bits in there that you don't want, like you happen to pick your nose or made a funny face or said something that you just really don't think added to what you were talking about, use iMovie. I used to be a video editor, so I have Final Cut Pro, which again was a slight investment, but I used it, for editing and stuff like that. And now I use it for podcasting. But yeah, iMovie does the job. And yeah, or if you are totally confident, you don't have to edit at all. Like if it's a quick, 20-minute thing, you can just have a whole stream of consciousness. Yeah, so I think that's it. And then, upload it, upload away. YouTube, that's the best place to start. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I will at some point write an article giving you guys like more tips on podcasting and whatnot. I mean, there are podcasts now, they're a dime a dozen. I mean, there's so many knitting podcasts, spinning podcasts. At this point, I kind of feel like a needle in a haystack. But yeah, if it doesn't matter. Like if you enjoy talking about knitting, spinning, whatever it is you love to do it, and the rest will follow. If you have a blog, start a Ravelry thread, let people know that you're doing it, Sure enough, more podcasters and other knitters will start talking about it, and the rest is history. So yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. I know it's not it's kind of like a crash course, if you will, but that said, let's move on to shop update stuff. So that's it for Because You Asked. Now on to shop update stuff. So if you are not into that, that's totally cool. I will see you next time. Happy knitting. But if you are, stick around. I don't have like a huge amount of stuff to show you because I'm going to be dyeing stuff after I finish recording. So there will be a big update this Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. So that said, what did I want to talk about first? Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I posted something on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry yesterday because I'm curious. I posted a poll. I wanted to know what your favorite Voolenvine yarns base is. I don't mean colorway, I mean base, like what fiber is your favorite. So for example, I have my Lush base, which is merino nylon cashmere, and Blitzed, which has sparkles in it, the DK weight, which is if you've purchased my yarn and used it and knit with it, I would love to know what your favorites are, because I'm trying to, I guess, not weed out any. I'm just trying to figure out what you guys like, and I want to have more of that in stock. I know the BFL, the footsie base, is so far getting the most votes, and I love that one too, but right now the supply is very, very low, so Lush is like a close second behind that. So, but yeah, like the ones that I'm kind of like debating whether or not I still want to keep them in the shop, if there's not a big demand for them, I'm just kind of like meh about them for me personally. I don't know, I want to get a feel for it. So yeah, if if you have an opinion, go over to the Ravelry thread, which I put the Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry group, and within there I posted a thread with the poll. So go in there, vote for your favorite, you can choose as many as you want or as little as you want, but leave a comment because after a couple weeks I will close the thread and choose one person to win 10% off of anything in my shop. So if you are interested in a freebie discount, leave a comment because I would love to know. So yeah, that said, let me see here. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the Art Nouveau Yarn Club. I will be releasing, finally, those colorways next month, January. So I have one to show you. I don't know if I ever showed it on the podcast because I was kind of being a little on the down low about it. But this is the first colorway from, I believe it was August, was it? Yeah, it was August. This is Water Sprites, which is based on a painting by Gustav Klimt. So, and this is on my Blitz base. I love it on the Blitz because it really captures like the sprites underwater and it's so pretty. But yeah. So this will be in the shop in January along with the two others that I dyed up. So stay tuned for that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is these, I don't know if I showed them last week, but Phantom Fathom will be in the shop again. This is becoming a super popular colorway. This is on my, Deco Worsted, and this is on Blitzed, obviously. So it's a new favorite of mine that I can't wait to knit up with myself. But again, I'm trying to be good. So the other one is, this is kind of a misfit, but it's one of a kind, I should say. This one's Diamond Dog, which is like a brown with like hints of gray lavender in there, and this is on my Magpie DK base. So fine merino, silk, and stellina. So non-washable, guys, luxury. So there's that. So because that's a misfit, the difference between one of a kinds and misfits, misfits are like a close they're like a variation of a repeatable colorway, if you will, whereas like a one of a kind is not repeatable. I did not write down the formula for it. It will probably never make an appearance in my shop again, so you got to jump on it if you want it. But misfits are like close cousins of a repeatable colorway. So that happens a lot with Outlander. Sometimes you like it dark and light. Sometimes it has something totally unexpected happened in the dye pot. So I can't really call it that colorway. But yeah, still totally knittable and enjoyable and perfectly fine to knit with. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Vampire Romance Yarn Club, which is kicking off in January. So right now I'm still having signups. If you haven't signed up yet and you're interested, do so now because I think there's less than 8 spots available. So yeah, space is limited. And yeah, it's going to be a 3-month yarn club featuring 3 yarns on 3 of my bases, different bases, based on vampire couples from your favorite vampire movies and movies based on novels. So it could be anything. I don't know. It's going to be a surprise. And yeah, if you're interested, sign up. But yeah, I know it's the holidays, but I just needed a little campiness and goth in my life. So, why not? Let's do vampires. So there's that. And the other thing that I wanted to just kind of, side note, if you are going to purchase a club, it's $105, but when you go, which covers all 3 yarns for all 3 months. But when you go to check out, I factored in shipping, which is extra. I factored in shipping for all 3 months as well. So when you check out, you will be purchasing the Yarn Club plus shipping for all 3 months total. So depending where you live in the world, it's $500 and blah. It's $105 plus shipping for all 3 months. Because I know there may have been a little confusion with that, so I just kind of wanted to clarify that. But yeah, so it should be fun, it should be exciting, and I can't wait to dye stuff up. I have lots of thoughts toiling and turning in my head about it. I already know which couples I'm going to be featuring, so I hope you like them. But that's it. I think that's it. Blather. Yeah, Christmas is coming up. Me and Dennis are going to be spending it with my family. We're going to my mother and father's house, and they live upstate. So I wanted to say, yeah. So it should be fun. I don't know if I'm going to be. We're not going to do any crazy gift exchange or anything. We just that's for kids. I don't know. We just decided, we're just gonna spend time together, have food, have a wonderful time, drink some eggnog, wine, eat, and just enjoy each other's company. I may knit a little something. I already made my mom a bird of happiness to put on her tree, my dad's tree. So, we'll see. But yeah, it should be a fun time. Very, very chill. I kind of wish like I could have like a big festive Christmas again, because I know it was a big deal when I was little, and now I feel like my family is just kind of, I don't know, things change, and now it's just, my family is like so spread apart now, and not in a horrible way or anything like that, but it's just the excitement I feel like has just died down, and I kind of want to, if I can, bring that back a little bit. But it's kind of hard because, like, yes, Dennis celebrates Hanukkah, or not, he's not very big on the holidays, but I kind of want to make it a big deal again. Just having I love having friends over and entertaining and just making it a fun thing, but things have just been so crazy this year that I don't think it's going to happen. So, plus we're not sure how long we're going to be staying here. So I'm just kind of a little bit, not sad, just kind of like, well, okay, next year, I guess, Plus, like, all our friends have gotten married and moved out of Brooklyn. So, yesterday, two of our friends just let us know that they were moving out of Brooklyn and moving, upstate as well. So we're just kind of like, and then there were two. So yeah, out of all our friends, we're the only couple that is left in Brooklyn. So I'm just like, oh man, everyone's ditching us. But I don't know. You grow up. But yeah, I definitely want to bring back kind of like the festiveness of Christmas, because it's fun. It's fun. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, I have my tree, so I'm happy. That said, all right, I think I'm blathering on just a little too much here. So yeah, that said, I will see you next time, and happy knitting. Bye.